Okay guys, let's do another strategy or guide for stage 2 and 5 of this limited tower, and this time I'll be showing you guys how to do it with just Nobara as your only yellow DPS. So basically no Tingojos needed, no incomplete domain Megumi or SSR Yaga will be needed either. Now, the strategy for both stage 2 and stage 5 are very similar. Basically, the idea here is that you have mutual trust so that you can give plus 10 curse energy to your whole team, which is more needed for Toge. This allows your Toge to do back-to-back ultimate increase for 2 turns, first 2 turns, which can then allow your one of your supporter to actually charge up her ultimate attack, or his ultimate attack, so that they can do a combo attack with Nobara eventually later on. And then once the first 2 turns of ultimate increase buff is done by Toge, Toge doesn't have any use for the remainder of the battle, and that's kind of why you want to play this taunt reflection to make sure he actually dies at that point in order to sub in a third character. And what you want to make sure is that you want one character from each type of buff or debuff category in order to maximize their damage output. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I already created a video before about how to maximize your damage output. But basically the idea here is you almost always want Yaga and also Gakuganji, and then the third person can either be Nanami, which I use for stage 2, or it can also be Green Momo, who I'll be using for stage 5, and that's basically the whole idea behind the strategy. um Let me talk about the 2 stages one by one, just so you guys are comfortable with the actual skills you want to use, etc. For stage 2, the main thing you want to look out for is that on the third turn, the enemy is going to do a very high single target attack from the 2 side mobs, and that's kind of why I have this reflection in order to actually evade their high single target attack. And then on turn 4, what's going to happen is the main boss enemy is going to do an AoE, which also do a lot of damage, and that turn is when you want to activate the damage reduction from mutual trust. And then what's going to happen is that on turn 5, your ultimate gauge on your Nanami should be charged up. You may need to either get hit once or maybe level up your Toga skill 2 to ensure this consistently happen. But it should happen fairly regularly, considering the enemy you'll be kind of tanking hits for the first 4 turns, and there's like 3 enemies, so it's very likely an enemy will get hit by at least once in order to actually charge up his ultimate all the way to the max. And once you do that on turn 5, you can then go for ultimate attack with Nobara. Now, because there are 2 side enemies on stage 2, and they won't even die after you kill off the main boss. So what's going to happen for Nobara is that you actually want Nobara on the third turn and fourth turn, basically put 1 nail on each of the enemies, and then on turn 5, when you actually do that ultimate attack, you aim for the third enemy which don't have a nail, and that basically allow your Nobara to turn her ultimate attack into an AoE. This will kill off the 2 mobs and almost break the enemy main boss as well, which is absolutely fine, because what's then going to happen is the turn afterwards you're going to break the boss. When you break the boss, you're going to get a huge increase to your ultimate gauge, and also because the boss is broken, he won't attack for 2 turns, and that actually then allow your Nobara to set herself up for the second ult, and that's basically how you will kill off the enemy for stage 2. Now for Gakuganji, this recollection is also somewhat important as well, mainly because you want Gakuganji to stack 3 debuff back to back, and basically this curse energy give a passive ability of 5 curse energy, which doesn't seem like much, but this is basically what's needed in order for your Gakuganji to do 3 debuff back to back. So this is basically why I chose this recollection. You can potentially also replace this with Death by Wasp as well, because this one does increase curse energy when the HP is less than 50%. So maybe there's a bit of RNG involved, but you should be able to trigger this as well, considering the enemy is actually going to do an AoE attack on turn 4. So Gakuganji should be able to get his HP fairly low as well. So either choices should be fine for the recollection on Gakuganji, okay? Now, turn 5 is a slightly more RNG heavy than stage 2. Like stage 2, I would say is like very consistent. Not much RNG is needed because you don't even need to crit. Stage 5, depending on how strong is your Nobara, you may actually have to go for crit. So for reference point, my Nobara is at dupe 2, and also her ultimate attack is at level 9, and I do need a crit, okay? So if your Nobara is stronger than mine, you may be able to get away without a crit, but if yours is similar, you probably have to reset for a crit as well. So that's something you have to bear in mind. Now, the thing with this stage is that unlike stage 2, where the enemy mainly do single target attack, on stage 5, the 3 wasp on the side can actually do an AoE debuff, which is actually quite nice because 1, they don't actually attack you, so you're able to survive a bit longer, and 2, because it's an AoE attack, it's actually going to charge the ultimate gauge on Yaga fairly consistently. So often what I'm actually able to see is that Yaga will already have his ultimate gauge charged up on turn 4, and therefore I'm actually able to do a combo attack with Nobara on turn 4. So that's kind of why I am choosing this reflection here to ensure I'm able to do that. You may still have to reset a few times because it kind of does depend on how many times the enemy use their AoE debuff. So I have seen occasions where I just miss out and other cases where I have it completely charged up. So you may need to reset slightly for that as well. But nonetheless, basically the idea is still the same. You want to have Toge die on turn 2 so that your Momo don't come in. Momo can stack up maximum of her buff in just 2 turns, so that's kind of why she's perfect for this role. But the only thing you have to bear in mind with Momo is that her buff is only lasting for 1 time. Then what you're going to see instead for Nobara is that rather than applying her nail stack twice, what you want to do on turn 3 when Green Momo actually comes in is you want to go back to using her skill 2 in order to buff herself, because if you actually use her skill 1 to stack a nail, this would actually use up the buff for Momo, which is something you want to avoid. So what you're going to see with my Nobara is I will be using her skill 2 on the first turn, skill 1 on the second turn, you know, to do 3 stack of nail, and then on the third turn I'll be going back to skill 2 just so that I can preserve the buff from Green Momo, and then on turn 4 I'll be going for this ultimate attack comboed up with my Yaga in order to not quite able to finish off Jogo in one hit, however it's definitely able to break it, so buy you a bit more time, and also almost bring it to death so that you can actually finish off with her skill 3 afterwards. And once Jogo is dead, the 3 wasps automatically die as well, and then you just win the battle straight away like that.
人払いは済んだ。行くぞ。さて、授業のまとめに取り掛かろう。相手の動きを観察しろ。勘弁。片付けます。
行くわよ。
防げ。そうです。相手の動きを鮭手早く進ま
行くわよ。
授業を始めよう。防げ。気張っていきましょう。
このまま払うわよ。
消えろ。深く最善の一手を常にかそうさ手早く
相手してやる。
では教育の時間だ。ここが踏ん張りどころだ。そうさ片付けます。
準備万端。こっからよ。
では教育の時間だ。ここが踏ん張りどころだ。相手の動きをそうささて行きますよ。
準備万端。こっからよ。
授業を始めよう。対象の7対3の点を弱点にする。私からは以上です。
通例情報。
決めます。
逃がった。
さてそうさ片付けます。
相手してやる。
授業を始めよう。ここが踏ん張りどころです。さすがですね。
ともな
相手の隙を見逃すな。気は熟したぞ。手早く
相手してやる。
気張っていきましょう。行くぞ総力戦だ。これで払い切る。覚悟せい。おお学願寺学長いいだろう。相 相手の隙を見
参る。
手早く
行くわよ。
では教育の時間だ。決まっていきましょう。
くらい。
相手の動き
参る。
片付け
相手してやる。
ここが踏ん張りどころです。
行くぞ。
その
人払いは済んだ。行くぞ。
わしにかなうと思うているのか。参る。
勘弁。相手の動き
相手してやる。
防げ。では教育の
このまま
時間だ。
払うわよ。
くらい。そうさの。
相手の動きを
行くわよ。
防げ。授業を始めよう。
くらい。
可愛くないやつばっかりね。可愛く叩き直す。
サイズ
準備万端。こっからよ。
なるほど、そう
では
いうことね。
教育の
このまま
時間だ。
払うわよ。
行くぞ。いまいましい。
変な感じ。
さて準備はいいか。
準備万端。こっからよ。
オッケー、読めたわ。
くらい。
行くぞ。総力戦だ。これで払い切る。
通例呪法。かんざし。
行くぞ。
逃がすか。
見事じゃ。
相手の動き。
最善の一
相手してやる。
なるほど、そう
では
いうことね。
教育の時間だ。
相手の動きがに。
相手してやる。
オッケー、読めたわ。
授業を始めよう。
ありえん。このわしが。